Persona 3 Reload is the remake of supposedly the best Persona game. But as a Persona 5 royal player who witnessed the checkmate, I wasn't sure if anything could top that. Until the credits rolled, and I was left with a profound sense of emptiness and loss. Loss of my fucking time. My god, the game is long. But was it worth it? It depends on your life or the lack thereof. In this Japanese high school simulator, you and the gang use your powers of suicidal ideations to save the world from the coffin hour and literal brain rot, forging unbreakable bonds with a quirky cast of children, an alcoholic tsundere monk, the most ethical Japanese businessman, by following them around for 10 days and pursue romantic relations with every girl willing to talk to you. So get your red vest and Shanghai powered glasses ready, cause this Dr. Disrespect POV is going to be a long one. We play as the nonchalant bluehead who is getting transferred to Gekukan High in a fictional prefecture of Japan, and probably because of his tragic backstory, he is unfazed by all the blood and coffins on his way to his new dorm, where he is forced to sign a really vague contract bestowing a name to himself by another unaccompanied child, where hope this isn't a subtle implication about him being locked up somewhere. Bam! You almost got the First Amendment by this Momo Ayase looking off. And welcome to every Persona dialogue option, where you have two normal but mostly similar responses, and sometimes the third silly one. In the grand scheme of things, this does not matter until you are begging for forgiveness in the Church of Vows. At least you wish you were.
It's for self-defense. It's not a real gun, of course.
Excited to roleplay as a boy too depressed to give a shit, we head to bed. Next day, Atlus makes the dream of every Persona fan come true by letting you walk to school with the hot-headed Yukari Takeba, which spreads a lot of rumors, and we actively make it worse. On your first day at school, you uncover the root cause of our depression to be a severe lack of parental figures. Then we immediately proceed to hit on our homeroom teacher, only to fail, because we have the charisma of a cardboard and the confidence of a Reddit mod outside their room. Mitsuru ain't walking home with your dumbass till you double your IQ points. Until then, your new best friend, Junpei Iori, is all you got. Self-improvement takes time, as you were born too early to waste your time and money on podcasts and self-help courses from online gurus. Even small things can help you in the long run, like helping out your friend in class to up your aura, sleeping in class to be more courageous, or listening to your class to be an academic. And the teachers here are really normal. Some are just really passionate about what they teach. Others just teach what they're passionate about. One such personality is the chairman, who is a real comedian, a jokester dare I say. And he personally welcomes you to the dorms, then urges you to get a good night's sleep, so that they can all watch you sleep, while Ikutsuki does the most out-of-place dumping of exposition about the extra hour of sleep that you get every night, while the entire world is in a coffin, or getting their soul eaten, or more accurately, losing a part of their psyche. While they watch you reload it, you are summoned to the Velvet Room as an esteemed guest by a mysterious entity, Igor, and his attendant that haunts every transfer student in Japan to help them make poor relationship choices and guide them through the journey or something. A loud noise interrupts their watch party the next night as Akihiko Sanada, the dorm's third resident, lures a big-ass monster here. Yukari, trying to get us to safety, gets us cornered on the rooftops, and before the multi-armed monstrosity reaches us, Yukari tries to take the easy way out. But having seen enough media from Japan involving high schoolers and twisting masses of appendages, I knew where this was going, and I decided to end it all while saying the name of the game. Sadly, this was just the beginning, as we summoned our persona, and it then it takes out the big one, just leaving a few hands to take care of. We get a taste of the Persona turn-based combat, which immediately puts us in a coma. In our deep, week-long slumber, ego explains Jungian psychology to us and asks us to forge strong bonds to strengthen our personas. We wake up in a hospital where Yukari was waiting to one up our tragic orphan backstory with her grown-up dad story. After a brief briefing on the situation, we are given no choice but to join Thieves, short for Special Ed Execution Squad. They exist to explore their high school after midnight as it morphs into a creepy labyrinth tower with too many floors, which is also infested with monsters known as the Shadows, who cause the uncaffeinated people to be inflicted with ass. Our aim is to find enough clues to destroy the Dark Hour, Shadows, and this tower which we call the Tartarus. With this vague goal in mind, we along with our new recruit, Junpei, start exploring the distinctly themed floors of the Tartarus, ranging from the Luigi's Mansion, the Goon Cave, Epilepsy Simulator, to other boring architectures copy-pasted 100 times. Each floor of the Tartarus is littered with items, shadows, and all sorts of chests. The few ways to deal with shadows are ignoring them, sneaking up on them and striking them before they turn around to get an advantage, sneaking up on them and striking them after they turn around, or letting them chase you into a dead end and hit you, giving them an advantage. Eventually you will be able to ambush the enemy if you have enough momentum. Advantage being getting to go first. We use the Evoker plus our hidden capability of speech to summon our persona and use their magical or physical abilities by expenditure of our SP or HP respectively. A sound Shadow Showdown strategy is to apply buffs, debuffs the first round, identify their weakness or whatever they are not resistant to, then attack while applying their recovery skills as necessary upon hitting the weakness or getting a critical hit, which is totally random unless they are affected by a status, then it's less random. The enemy falls over, giving you another turn which can be passed on to your teammate, or if all the enemies are knocked down, then you can do the all-out attack, which is literally a cartoon battle inside a dust cloud. Good luck trying to figure out the affinities, because there are too many of them and it doesn't make any sense. After a battle, if you're lucky, you are rewarded with the shuffle time. Unless you win it with an all-out attack, then it's guaranteed. Here you can pick one of the following cards, granting you more money, more XP, new abilities, buffs and recovery, and most importantly, new personas. Obtaining new personas and fusing them together to make even more powerful personas is the name of the game. Then there are the major arcana cards, giving you an even greater leg up inside and outside the Tartarus. But these are rare, so we can ignore it like I did. Don't stay on a single floor for too long or go AFK, as it puts you on the Grim Reaper's naughty list. And he will come to expunge your soul along with your hours of progress. So you better run unless you have enough repel skills. Then you have a decent chance of watching him kill himself and instantly maxing out our level. My typical run through the Tartarus involves running away from all the shadows while trying to collect as many items as possible till we reach the gatekeepers. A fitting description as they gatekeep, girl boss and gaslight you so hard that you might summon a persona in the real world. Don't forget to save before your life's killing appointment, and you reload the save to grind, strategize and finally get lucky with the turn order to have a chance in beating them. Keep at it till you reach the border to unlock 4 lines of lore, and to cross further beyond, you need to progress through your high school. Getting through high school is really hard with all the assignments, classes and exams, especially without any friends. But don't worry, making friends is easy if you can find the right people. Thankfully, the right people are marked with a floating arcana card atop their heads. Growing these relationships helps you with fusing stronger personas of their arcanas. And the fastest way to do this is telling them what they want to hear. Otherwise, you will be drawing fortune and browsing through red pill dating sites at night. While some people have no standards and will befriend any blue-haired ape that walks through the clubroom doors, but others won't even glance at you until you achieve a certain social stature or jump through a lot of hoops. For example, when you had to befriend a girl inside an online RPG who, instead of being a fat obese man in his 30s, was our homeroom teacher with a secret crush on you, a student but falls in love with you, the player, while venting about her life's frustrations, like her colleague with the padded chest being proposed to by our social link Kenji, or President Tanaka's remark about her sorry single drunken state, which leads to your level 4 charismatic ass being scammed for 40,000 yen, in addition to all the commodities he sells every Sunday. Seeing your naivety, he decides to take you under his wing to give you some questionable advice, odd threats,
Lick your shoes clean if you want me to.
and many such cases. Some or all of your relationships with the opposite gender can bloom into something more. And there's a girl catering to every type of anime fan, such as the shy one, the girl boss, the insecure one, the mommy, the tomboy, and the toaster. But social links aren't the only boring pastime that you can do in your free time. You can also engage in various self-improvement initiatives, which can include eating a whole-ass burger, among other meals, sing karaoke alone, watch movies, play at the arcade, and part-time jobs. Like any other teenager, you can only do 2 things a day, including going to the Tartarus, which doesn't make any sense since it's supposed to be an extra hour after midnight. But there's barely enough time to finish everything, forcing you to min-max your school life. There are also activities that don't pass time, unless you really want that Jack Frost, like operating the vending machines, shopping for consumables, crafting equipment in the antique store, testing our courage in the nurse's office, fucking around in the velvet room, doing chores for Elizabeth, taking her out on playdates and eventually bending her over in her bedroom, and buying weapons and armor from the police station. Here you can often find details about the people who go missing in the Tartarus, and you don't have to save them. You can let the old man from the bookstore and the little girl die after convincing her to run away from home by blaming her for her parents' divorce. This is far from the worst shit you do throughout the journey. After making sure Junpei knows that he is a side character during the freaky monorail incident, we come to know of fucking Yamagishi, the girl who got bullied so hard she ended up in Tartarus, and the school, along with her parents, decided not to report her missing, making her a perfect candidate for our squad. So we track her down to give her a gun to shoot herself in front of the bully, maximizing her guilt-induced trauma. But instead, she summons her persona that can store people in its belly and detect weaknesses, thereby solving the too many attributes problem. Fuka Yamagishi, our new navigator, is the heart of the team, as she keeps us motivated by buffing us, informing us, and crying out when we fall.
Come in. Boss?
We come to learn of the 12 arcana shadows that appear during every full moon, after we conveniently move into an all-persona user's dorm. And upon defeating all of them, the Tartarus, the Dark Hour, and our powers will disappear. This creates conflict within Junpei, as he is nothing even with his powers. And that is why I benched him during the Love Hotel incident, where I was forced to resist my temptations only for Yukari to slap me across the face wearing nothing but a bathrobe. Meanwhile, we were being spied on by Strega, a team of non-consensual persona users who just shoot people during the dark hour with a real gun. Before we collide with them, Yukari collides with Mitsuru, demanding the Tartarus role. So we take a trip to the mandatory beach episode, where we creep out all the women in the area, eventually chasing down a girl deep into the woods, and she turns out to be an anti-shadow weapon, I guess, who is hardly attached to you and can talk to animals for some reason. We even get to meet Mitsuru's sad dad, who drops the lore bomb on Yukari's sad ass by playing the video of her dad taking accountability for the explosion 10 years ago, which creates all our problems during the experiment where Mitsuru's grandfather was trying to harness the power of shadows to control time and destroy the world. Then we start recruiting increasingly morally questionable members, like a dog and a child, as if we are the bad guys. Koromaru the dog was just fighting off a shadow at a shrine, and we gave him a gun. Ken the child decided to join to get back at an ex-squad member who killed his mother when his persona went berserk. And everyone knew about this, but assumed the child forgot or something. This leads to the ex-member Aragaki joining back in, and he is actually written to be a likable human being, implying the writers can conceive of characters that are more than just tropes who feel like they're useless, or just actually useless. The Hangout system adds to this by tying in their passive bonuses to you spending meaningful time with them. Similarly, Junpei spends meaningful time with an early dressed girl, Chidori, by surprisingly showing genuine interest, care, and possibly lying about being the leader of the seas. But she turns out to be a member of the Stray Gays, who then kidnaps the man only for him to pull out the Arcana reverse card. This angers Takaya, the shirtless cult leader.
Is invisible to fools.
And in retaliation, he meddles in a kid's murder-suicide plot, where everyone was gonna die anyway, to prevent Ken from killing Aragaki by killing Aragaki with a gun. This affects the team on a psychological level, as they had to go to school the next day like nothing happened. And we have to overcome multiple flashbacks, not just during the final strike of battle, where we witness how they live, but also during their persona evolution, overpowering them to defeat all the big fat shadows. The boy in our head who comes out once in a full moon to remind us of the full moon now thanks us for making him whole again. And before we can finish our end of the Dark Hour celebrations, we get interrupted by the Dark Hour. Seems like everyone unquestioningly trusted Ikutsuki based on a video with a lot of stock glitch effects. But he was just a maniac who wanted to destroy the world, then roll over it. He reprograms Aigis to crucify us off screen, and we only managed to escape because he forgot about the damn dog. And Mitsuru's dad had a gun. Aigis unhacks herself, empowered by the memories we all made together. Chad Dad and the Mad Dude kill each other, traumatizing the team further as they still had to go to the school the next day. A new trans student, Ryoji, shows up. Who could it be, I wonder? And he's a real player, a persona player, since he's maxing out his social links with everyone at school, including you. We spent some heartfelt moments together on the school trip, like pondering over life and relationships, sneaking into the girls' hot springs and possibly getting castrated, while Yukari and Mitsuru bond over their dead dad trauma. Meanwhile, Chidori was struggling after finding meaning in life, because she was going to die as she was one of the 100 orphans subjected to inhuman experimentation under the Kirijoku. Takaya, as a good leader, solves her problem, but unable to live in a world without the man, she sacrifices herself to resurrect him, resulting in a fusion between their personas. This was genuinely a good moment in the story until they ruined it with this smooth bomb escape. If you don't forget to buy the man flowers for Chidori, she can come back to life with no concrete memories and a normal lifespan, but this is optional. Speaking of options, Ryoji gives us two of them. While spending a long time in our room, he reveals his true form to us. Death and its appraiser, who was too strong for Aigis to defeat 10 years ago. So she seals him inside her recently orphaned child lying beside them. Somehow you get transferred to the same area, to the Persona user dorm, to be their leader, to defeat and reunite all the Arcana shadows. Ryoji beats humanity into Aigis and leaves us with two options. Either kill him to delay the inevitable arrival of Nyx, a maternal being that'll extinguish all life, living blissfully ignorant until the end, or face the oncoming death head-on. Due to our shared history, Ryoji forms a genuine bond with you and the team, leading to him giving you months to make the choice under absolute existential dread, and another one to prepare for the final battle. This is the game's peak, as your team's convictions and all the character development is tested due to their predicament, and we get to thank Aigis for what she did to us. On the promised day, you get to fight through the Tartarus until you reach the top after beating Strega again. Atop the Tower of Demise, Nyx's psyche manifests in the body of Ryoji, and he deploys the power of all the major arcana,
the means by which all is revealed. Attaining one's dream requires a stern will and unfailing determination. One of life's greatest blessings is the freedom to pursue one's goal. To find the one true path, one must seek guidance amidst uncertainty. Beyond the beaten path, death awaits. Let us finish this. It is the path of your choosing. Correct.
We fight through all the 14 long phases of the boss fight for her to reveal her true form, and for us to summon our bullshit. Using the literal power of friendship, you withstand death and sacrifice your life to seal away Nyx. But to keep that one last promise, to say that one last goodbye, we hold on, finally fading away, surrounded by friends. While Persona 5 was about 4 gay boys forced to suppress their true selves from society because of rotten adults and grooming older women, Persona 3 is a story about friendship, growth, hidden cameras, unsupervised, self-interested middle manager, child soldiers with cutting-edge humanoid persona-using robots which can communicate with animals, finding meaning in the mundane, living in the present, dealing with loss, fighting for what we can change, accepting what we can't, and letting go. If you're still unable to let go, you can buy the $30 DLC, which is just 15 hours of Tartarus with some plot sprinkled over it, where we get to defend the great Dokun from humanity's distorted desires for destined death. Persona 3 had concepts of a good story, surprisingly good characters with great interpersonal dynamics, conflicts and developments. I just wish they had remade the bad boring bits and added all the cut content to make a real, definitive version to be released on the Switch 2 with a $90 price tag for all the fans to buy it again. But my bank account will be too preoccupied recovering from the Persona 5 Phantom X global launch.